Hi everyone. So yeah, I'm behind the wheels of the T5. So I've driven the T6. I believe you've watched the video, and the T6 is fast. It's all-wheel drive. So when I go full throttle, right, there are no wheel spins or whatsoever. The car just shoots off, and that was like a crazy drive, right? And it's fully spec'd with panoramic roof, pedal shifter and everything. So this round, I've got myself behind the wheels of the yeah, I didn't signal and then I crossed the lane and then it warned me. So that's a Volvo for you. You can switch that off as well. You can, yeah, there are so many customizations to it. This is like an Android here, man. You can do a lot of things with it. Um, First off, let me cover the differences between the T5 and the T6. So, okay, the T5 comes with 254 horsepower. Okay, so if you draw a comparison with the because this guy doesn't have all the sporty bits and all that, right? And inside it looks so classy, so effortlessly classy, right? Beautiful wood, high quality leather and all this, right? I would say this guy is actually aiming for the Mercedes E-Class. Okay, so it is priced at 380,000. So how much is the E-Class? The E-Class starts at 396,000. That will be the E200. All right, and then the E200. Then they have the E250, which is 211 horsepower, and then you have the top of the range, the E300, which is 245 horsepower. That will be the E300. Okay, but this guy is the T5. It is only 380,000. Its horsepower output is 254. So this guy actually outperforms the top E300 variant, and it sort of matches up to the 530i, which is priced at the same price point as well. Okay, and the E200, which is the same price, is seriously down on horsepower. That one is 184. It's only 184 horsepower. Okay, of course, this segment is not all about performance, right? You want a reasonable performance. Of course, you want some form of performance, right? You don't want that you're driving this 300,000-400,000 ringgit car, and then you have a A-class A200 behind you chasing you off the highway. You don't like that feeling, right? Now, what are the other differences between this one and the T6? This one doesn't have pedal shifters because the whole positioning is more serene drive, wood, leather, comfort, cruising. Of course, when you want to go fast, it can, and it's mighty fast, all right? And because it's only front wheel drive, so at times when you go full throttle, the wheels will spin. You get that because it's only front wheel drive. How does it drive? It beats the A6. It totally beats the A6. This is one of the best handling front wheel drive premium car. It is sharper than the Passat B8. It is sharper than the A6. The A4 might be nimble, but the steering of this might be slightly better than the A4, but because the car is big, right, it's not as nimble as the A4. The new A4 is quite a drive. It handles very well, but this easily beats all the older Audi front-wheel drive architecture cars. Okay, it is a serious handler. It really handles. All right, it drives well. Comfort, how is it? Excellent. I have these excellent Volvo seats. They are supremely comfortable. I would hope that the seats actually have air conditioning, but it doesn't. And then the seat, right? Because it is using some type of really soft and plush and smooth leather. Because it's so smooth, right? It's almost as smooth as synthetic materials. There's not much pattern on these leather. I think they use really, I don't know, they call it what, really young calves leather or something like that, because it's really nice. But sometimes when certain material clothes, right, when you move on it, you get that sound. I don't know whether you hear it or not. That zzz, 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 that sound, right? But the seats are comfortable. They're very, very comfortable. These are power adjustable seats, but unfortunately they are only, I don't know, 6-way or 8-way powered. Not much of adjustability, but the seats are really nice. It doesn't hug you as tight as the seats in the 5 Series, but it looks good and it's comfortable, and it's just a nice place to be in. As for the interior, it's different from the T6. I actually prefer this interior because the T6 is all dark, all sporty, carbon fiber, aggressive. This one is comfort. This one you can hear the classical music playing behind, even though there's none. It's serene. But is it as quiet as the A6? No. The A6 is quieter, the 5 Series is quieter, the E-Class is quieter. I don't mean wind noise, I mean road noise. Of course, road noise is tire dependent, but still, um, in terms of undercarriage sound insulation, they are slightly better than this guy, but this guy is not bad at all. It's not bad at all. It is still a very comfortable car. Okay? What other differences? The trimmings here supposed to be wood, but then this is just high quality rubberized plastic. Okay, instead of wood, it's high quality rubberized plastic here. Full-fledged system, sensors, no qualms there, no complaints there. Power boot, you don't get panoramic sunroof. The T6 has panoramic sunroof, but you have, in terms of technology, you have everything. Is filled to the brim. In terms of advanced safety features, right? This guy beats the 530i. It beats the E-Class and all that because it has the full semi-autonomous thingy. But honestly speaking, that thing is super useful when you travel on the highways, but day-to-day driving is not much. Seriously, it's not much. But it has, pedestrian detection, it has cross-traffic detection, it has a lot of all these high-tech features in it. So, yeah, that part, it crawls back a lot of score. But if you were to compare to the two competition around this price point, right, actually the 5 Series might be better spec'd. Okay, the 5 Series is better spec'd than this car. As for the E-Class, I think this one, the E-Class has a beautiful cabin. I cannot deny that it's beautiful, but the exterior of the car, that one to each liking. Okay, so all in all, the drive is great. I mean, it's fast, it's powerful, it really handles, and it's comfortable. And there's I have no complaints with this car. I have zero complaints with this car. Of course, I will go for the T6, but then there comes the weird positioning. Hold on, See, in terms of pricing, the 5 Series, right, is right smack on this one, same price, okay? But that one comes with full M Sport stuff. So if you like your car to be sportier, that car definitely does it for you because it looks so sporty. But if you feel that the 5 Series is too aggressive, that the interior is all dark, the seats are super hugging, very racer boy looking, right? Then you might prefer this one or the E-Class for that matter. Or is it a sure? I mean, most of the time, brands that are sort of like, we call them the underdogs, right? They will try to go all out, right? I mean, if Volvo were to price, if they're able to, I don't think they were able to. They were able to price the T6 at that price point, then it would be like super awesome, lah. But unfortunately, we can't have our cake and eat it, right? So I think they made two very, very, very compelling products this round. I certainly prefer the interior more than the 5 Series. This one is just, it's just beautiful the way you look at it, right? It's so classy, yet it's not ostentatious. You know, the E class is bordering on that. You know, it's like too much. Like you go into a hotel room with chandeliers and everything, too over, right? And then the BMW is super avant-garde. That interior, right, is like black. Um, you know, everything is just dark black, very sporty. Yeah, that's the BMW interior. And this one is just beautiful. It's just beautiful. Beautiful place to be in. It's comfortable and it drives well. And I like the image because I notice when I drive Volvo, people treat me kinder. They're nicer to me in general. All right. Are you able to hear me? That is worrying when I have a mic, right, and then it's only recording like I don't know. I'll just have to try with it. All right. So that's the T5. Now, um, you all know that they come with two variants, right? They have the T5 and then the T6. So Volvo only brought in two variants of the new S90 and V90. And kudos to them for bringing in the V90 because it is such an amazingly beautiful car. Look at it. And in this segment, right, no one dares to bring in a wagon. Like Audi doesn't bring in their wagon, Mercedes doesn't bring in their E-Class wagon, even BMW, because everyone has this belief that Malaysians don't buy wagons. But Volvo is all about their big wagons, right? They are one of the strongest purveyors, strongest believer in wagons, and they've been doing excellent wagons ever since, right? So you like the design? I really love the sleek design of the new V90. Clean lines. There are no weird design stuffs going on. The car just looks beautiful. Look at the rear lights. Right. The roof racks. It's very nice, right? So this one has a smaller rim compared to the T6. This one has 18-inch rims. The T6 has 19s. Not super sporty, but that's I think their design, their positioning of this car is to look classy, I guess. And look at this. These are the classic Thor headlamps now. They look great, don't they? It just looks beautiful. This is the new front of the S90. This is the standard front. Okay, so it's interesting. It almost have like a two-tier design with it, as if this is the lower lip. Oh. Now, this one. Check this out. You can see from here there is a concave design, right? Because this goes back to the P1800. The much loved P1800 has this concave design, and they changed the Volvo iron mark. The arrow used to point here while the slash goes like that. So now they unify it to be on a single plane. This subtle line that comes from the base of the A pillar, and then it goes like that to here, and then it turns back up all the way to the back. One line. I like that. And this one is super subtle. You can touch it. Yep. And then it sort of blends in. This is the shoulder line of the. It's like a full Volvo design language. Every of their car will have it, and it makes the car look strong. A little spoiler at the back. Okay. There's one thing I want to point out. When I was with a few Malaysian journalists when we were in Spain to test drive the pre-production S90 and V90, we actually spotted something, and I would like to think that we contributed towards it. I'm gonna try and explain it now. Now this is the rear light assembly, right? And of course, this is the opening of the boot. So this is actually the reflector. Alright? When we were driving the pre-production cars, right? This part, this reflector, is actually a thin piece. That means, right, from here we can see a black plastic cover. Okay, it is black plastic cover, and this piece is actually thin. There is actually a merging line here between the black plastic cover and this part. So both of them merge together, and we can touch that there is like a seam there. All right, because this design is so sharp. When it's a thin panel, this part becomes very sharp. So when one of my a few of us from Malaysia, Top Gear, Evo, and DSF, I think, we noticed this part is really sharp. And you know what I tried? Because I was wearing sweater at that time, right? I tried walking very closely to the car a few times, and actually the sharp part actually caught my clothes. So we actually looked for the engineers, and then we pointed this out to them, and we demonstrated, and they took note. And then now we're very happy that the production version, the light actually covers the entire paint. So it's like a curved chunk that slots in instead of just a panel. So I like to think that we actually contributed towards it, but actually that's the whole reason why car makers invite. Sometimes, I mean, maybe they have noticed it. I'm not sure, right? But yeah, I'm happy to think that we helped a little bit. Let's go to the interior. Okay, look at this part. Most cars have inlays, right? And then they put like a thin panel on it, so you can't tell whether it's a real thing or what, or it's really nice, nicely made synthetic material or whatever. But this guy at Volvo, right? Look at this part. So instead of putting a thin panel, they put a chunk of wood here to let you know this is the real deal. Yeah. And it's really nice, and it's repeated here, over here, and over here. Yeah, it's really nice. Their new interior design language is fantastic. You know why is that nice? Because they hired this guy by the name of Robin Page, okay? And he is an ex-employee of Bentley. Yeah, so they actually hired a Bentley designer, interior designer, to design the new Volvo interior. And I think he did a great job. It is so original. We've never seen this design language, but he made it really nice, really modern, really avant-garde, but not ending up feeling cold and just yeah, I'm referring to Audi's interior. Nicely built, but it just feels really cold, This one is so different. There are so many little details that I really appreciate. This is hard to do. This is very difficult to do. Why? Because this is almost the length of my face. Okay? It's very long. And anyone who has dealt with plastics would know that if you make a plastic fin this long, this thin, it will be wobbly. How to make it not suck? How to make it feel great? Behind these plastics, right, there's actually a metal running across it. It's very intricate. And for them to take such an effort is nice. And this chrome part, it feels like a freaking turbine. And it's very nice to hold. This part is very nice to hold. This knob. Okay? And I just like the way it looks. I like the way it functions. It's just really nice. And then this spline, they call it a spline. Look at this, that runs all the way down here and then back up here, and then it continues here and all that. So instead of just chroming the surrounding like all car makers do, they actually took the effort to really create this thing. Of course, it's not a one-piece metal because then it will be heavy, right? You don't want something heavy, and you wouldn't want a large piece of thin metal to be at the dashboard. waiting to punch a hole in your body during a crash or something like that, right? Volvo won't do that. Okay. Again, this is repeated here. The really nice crystal-like jewelry feel on the volume knob. Okay. Right. This part, you know, in the V90, the XC90, right? This part is some really nice metal. And then in the T6, it is carbon fiber. So here is actually just plastics, but high quality plastics nonetheless. And here is a rubberized plastic. But the rubberized plastic means, can you see that? Of course, it will go away if you wipe it hard enough. This type of material, it works like that. So it's not that it's scratched, but it's a temporary scratch. I don't understand this material yet. I really don't know how it works, but this will go away. But still, as you retract it, it's like whoa, 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 whoa. But it's nice, but I don't know why they're going to bother to put this, because if you have this that juts out, right, as long as they jut out enough, it already holds your can. You don't need to do this. When you do this, right, sort of limit our phones and all the other stuffs, but that's a minor complaint. Okay, this part opens nice and wide, very spacious here. You have a USB port, auxiliary port here, and that's about it. I've explained earlier, now cars, right, okay, back then this compartment was designed to hold CDs, but since no one bothers about CDs anymore, even a lot of cars do it without CDs. I'm so happy, finally. And they don't need to design this compartment to hold CDs. As long as it's spacious enough, it's fine. I'm happy with it. The leather. Now, the leather that you see in this car, right, is not the same grade leather as the one you see in the 530i. Okay, this is a higher grade leather, softer, plusher, and it looks really great. Remember my video? I was praising Audi's interior build quality, but then I cannot tahan. I just cannot stand the way it looks because it's so dull. This is a good example of a great looking, modern, sporty interior that doesn't look dull. You have a combination of different materials, high quality plastics, right? You have this wood panel here, you have this nice chrome, satin chrome garnishing, and then this solid, I think it's solid metal because it feels like that, door handle, and all this. You see, it looks beautiful, it looks fantastic. Okay, one thing I really want to show you, you know, I have a fetish with door bins, right? There's really this thing I want to show you. How do I go about it? Remember just now I mentioned that they hired a Bentley designer? So tell me, how many cars can you recall that actually wraps the leather all the way into the door bin? And then you see the stitching here in the door bin. Not only that, how do I show you this? Let me try and see if I'm able to see it. I don't think I'm able to see it. But this part, supposed to be plastic, right? They wrap a leather into it, and then you can feel the stitching inside. So this part is actually leather. It's leather wrapped. Amazing. I tell you, you can tell it. This is leather as well, because this part is plastic. Even though the pattern looks similar, but this is plastic. It's very different from this. This is leather. It's wrapped within. Freaking no joke. It's freaking high quality cabin. Right? Even look at this. This is covered in felt, and it feels good. Part. You have a gigantic glove box, covered in felt as well. It feels really nice. Yep. So it's a super nice cabin. Okay. I'm not going to go into this because it's so high tech, so many things going on. I won't even be able to understand it fully to even give you a proper demo. But it's just crazy. it's just crazy. The things that you can do here is just mad. Alright, so I really wouldn't want to go into it. You can even adjust how sensitive your brakes are with this. It's crazy. Alright. Is it easy to use? It looks easy, but you need to remember where are those stuffs. So there is a learning curve to it, but once you have the learning curve right, you'll be able to operate it nicely. But is it super user-friendly at first glance? It looks as though it is, but just like when you switch from iPhone to Android, you need to learn your way around, right? Or Android to iPhone. So yeah, that's how it is. Okay, it's a home button, like a Samsung home button. You go back. Aircon, just do that. So in terms of touchscreen, I think this is one of the best touchscreen systems out there. Okay, let's go to the back. Have I talked to you about steering? It's the same as the XC90, okay? The steering wheel. Let's go to the back. We go. Sorry, my son's scooter. First thing that I don't like is the absurdly huge center tunnel. I don't understand. I really don't understand why is there such a gigantic tunnel. And then I remember why. Okay, this car is designed to have the T8 inscription as well. So in the T8 inscription, the batteries will be hidden here. Why Volvo doesn't put the batteries at the back of the boot? Because it's dangerous in a collision. Alright, someone hit you at the back, your lithium ions will boom. Alright, so that's why it's that big, because it is designed from the ground up to be able to hold, to be a plug-in hybrid with a big battery pack in the safest place in the car, the center, and so that's why it's like that. But like in all my reviews, I say that as long as the space between here and the rails can fit your foot, then it's good enough. I have still like 2 inches of room between my feet. So the center passenger can actually put his foot here, and then those who sit on the side can do that. I can somewhat slot my feet underneath the front seats, so it's comfortable, and it's very spacious behind here. Okay, I have the aircon vents here on the B pillar. Very nice location. It's high enough, and actually there is another option, right, to have, of course they didn't spec it in this car, to have a digital climate control. Alright, let me show you the headroom and legroom. Go. Oops. So the headroom, I think it's enough, right? Oh, my hair looks like crap. Sorry for that. I have enough headroom and enough legroom. There you go. Legroom is enough, but because they have to integrate the booster seat, right? I just felt that the seats are very comfortable, but it could have come out slightly more. Let's have the armrest here. Oh, very nice. There's an opening, but there's a pass-through, so you have long objects, you can load them. And you have some really high quality mechanisms, rubberized plastic all around. Oh, and then this is another compartment, very nice. But somehow, I don't know why, this is rubberized, but this is not. They could have covered it in felt or something like that, right? So that it feels better. Okay? And these are the cutest little tiny headrests, which is very logical, because if they are too big, then they'll block view, and they're nice enough. Alright? One more thing I want to show you is this one, the last one. How do I do this? Oh, here. These are the booster seats for your child so that they can fit the seat belts. Alright? And then you have Isofix. Let's go to the boot. Huge boot, tonneau cover, and yeah, there's a compartment underneath, and there's a strap there as well for you to hide your stuff, and presumably there's the wheel underneath. Right, not much, and you can press these to fold the seats down so that you can have a very big space. Is the boot large? Yeah, it's big. It's very big in fact, very wide. Okay. But of course, because of the slanted body here, so it sort of cuts off a bit of loading capacity, but still, you won't need any more room. Okay, so yeah, I guess that's it. That's the interior. A very nice place to be, and I think for its price, which is equivalent to the E200, it's a bargain. But for those of you considering the 5 Series, right, the 5 Series definitely, it feels more sporty than this car, way more sportier than this car. But this car doesn't drive half bad as well. And it has this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful interior that is high quality and spacious, very spacious. So I would say Volvo, right, the T6 is positioned against the 5 Series M Sport. Alright, yes, there is a 60,000 ringgit difference, but in terms of safety specs, Volvo's one is full-fledged semi-autonomous, and then it has a horsepower of 320 horsepower. So there's a difference there. The 5 Series is no slouch. The 5 Series is very fast for 0 to 100. The 0 to 100 time of the 5 Series actually matches the Volvo T6R design, but beyond that, come on, the 320 horsepower is going to pull away. And that car has all-wheel drive, the T6. So the sporty variant of the Volvo T6 hybrid, T6 with panoramic roof and all that, right? That one is against the 530i, and of course, is when you consider that against the Mercedes E250 and all that, right? Volvo presents itself as a bigger bargain, but of course they don't have the dealer network of Mercedes and BMW. There's no match to that. So really, it's those people who don't want to be the same as others, then they'll buy. But when you consider the fact that traditionally Volvo doesn't have as good a used car value, but now it's very different. You check and see. The whole market continuum is just so different now. Everyone's used car value just tank. And yeah, I think this car is of really great value, given what it charges. And of course, there are certain things that I felt they shouldn't have taken out compared to the T6, which is the trimming here. They could have spec'd for the wooden trim, the wood trim, which looks much better and matches the nice inlays here, and then the paddle shifters, and this guy here. If it has a panoramic roof, it's great. Yeah, I know they need to do some differentiation with the T5. Is no slouch, and the T5 actually matches the horsepower output of the 530i, the BMW 530i. It actually matches the E300 Mercedes. No, it's more than the E300. So, yeah. In terms of sporty, yes, you have other choices, but in terms of comfort, luxury, right, this guy is a real contender this round. But certain things that they omit, just hoping it's there, especially the paddle shifters. Alright, that's it. See ya.